Hey, everybody, welcome to the latest podcast. Last week we talked about cleansing methods and tools. This week we're going to talk about self care. We're living in very stressful times, maybe some of the most stressful times ever, and all of us are under a lot of stress. So, today we're going to talk about some things that we can do to take care of ourselves. So, Jennifer, what do you have to say about this?
Oh, our mind affects so much of our body's processes. We don't think about it, but everything that we say and hear, words we're listening to, all of those different things affect our body. We hear a lot about past trauma and things like that. All of that, it just adds up. If we don't deal with different things, then those things build up and create illness. Um, we have to face our fears. We have to learn to share our emotions. I know as children, we're taught, don't cry, um, and things like that. Hide it. If you can't be angry, you need to get over it, and things like that. And so there's just so much in there that we need to be able to express our emotions and let all this out. I think Dr. Schultz, he talked a lot about how we store emotions in different areas of our body and in different organs as well. And so if you have, liver congestion or something, it can be a sign that you have anger issues, or was it fear? I think it was anger.
Yeah.
Um, that needs to be released, or you need to work through things like that. And there's a lot that has to do with mind over matter. If you think I'm getting sick, then you're probably going to get sick.
Yeah.
If someone tells you, you have this horrible illness, you're going to get sicker and sicker, then you believe it and you accept that, then there is a good chance that that's what's going to happen to you. But if you hear it and then you say, maybe it's not right. Maybe I can find ways to heal my body, recover. Um, and you start thinking, giving yourself hope, there are ways that you can come up with things. You have to have hope, and focus on what you can do and second guess and not believe that. You hear people that, they are diagnosed with cancer, 6 months to live, and they die within a month. It's, you know,
Yeah,
when
there was a
when
study.
go ahead.
There was a study about that. They had a group of people, they would say, you're going to die in 6 months from cancer. And the person who accepted that diagnosis died, like you're saying, before 6 months. But the people who say, you know what, I don't believe that, they lived way past their diagnosis. And this is just an attitude mindset. They didn't do anything special like detox or anything. They just had the mindset that, you know what, I don't believe you. I mean,
Mhm.
we create our own reality, and once you start to realize that, that is very empowering because positive thinking really does work.
Yes, and affirmations.
Yes.
If you say I have diabetes versus I am recovering from diabetes, or I don't know another way to say that, but I know for me, I don't say I have autoimmune thyroid disease. I received a diagnosis of autoimmune thyroid disease, but I don't have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of times it's
Listen,
the way you word it.
that's another topic as far as like being labeled with a diagnosis and people identify with that. Well, that's the best way to keep yourself sick, you know?
Right, right,
Um, and
right.
you
You
have
need
to pay attention to your social media. There's a lot of negativity going on in the world. So,
Right, that's true. So I know for me, I'm in some groups, for different thyroid conditions, and there are people in there that, they kind of go down a wormhole. I have this, and I have this, and I have this, and I have this, and it's all these symptoms, and that's just going to bring you down.
yeah,
And I'm sorry that you have those conditions, and those can be very, very real. But what else do you have? You have your family, you have you know, ability to get good healthy food, you have, these other opportunities as well. And so instead of focusing on what is going wrong, what feels bad, turning it around and focusing on what is going right, what feels good. Yeah, and kind of reversing those negative thoughts. And even if it's not how you feel, if you say, I am healing, um, I am better, I am stronger, and just repeating things like that. I am better, I am stronger, I am healing. Just that mindset can really help a lot as well.
It's amazing that it really all comes down to your mindset, and this is not talked about. I mean, this is like a secret or something. You go to a medical doctor, they're not going to tell you this. I mean,
You
most
are
of them won't.
it's
You
woo
know what I
woo.
mean? They say it's
Yeah.
woo woo, but there's actual scientific evidence that this works. You
Right.
know, like energy, for instance, energy healing. I saw, you've heard of Reiki.
Yes.
There is a case in a hospital. This person had a tumor in their abdomen, and they brought in, I think, 5 Reiki practitioners, and they put the person like I think it was an ultrasound where they could see the tumor, and all these people, these Reiki masters, were channeling their positive energy toward this person, and the tumor shrank. I mean, it got smaller during the session. You could see it on the ultrasound. This is
Wow.
recorded. I can't remember where I read this article, but I was like, wow. I mean, this is the power of intention.
Mhm.
And I mean, you can do a lot of things, right? You can eat healthy, you can exercise, you can detox, but if you're miserable, if your mindset is negative, it's going to be hard to be, you won't be as healthy as you could be. Let's just put it that way, you know?
Right. And it could be the one thing that is keeping you from
Yes.
recovering fully too. The diet's right, the exercise right, the sleep is right. Um, you're doing all the things,
Yeah.
but you have to get the mind right as well.
Yes.
hmm
I,
Yeah.
I think that's like the biggest factor, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's and
'Cause
that for me, that's the hardest one.
me too.
Yeah, and it may be a lot of it is because it's kind of woo woo, and it's a lot of pressure from society. You need to be doing you need to be doing, not only are you doing all of these things, taking care of your body, you also need to be doing this. You need to be successful in your business. You need to be buying these nice things. You need to have a nice home. You need to have a nice car, and things like that. And so all the pressure from all that while taking care of your body, exercising like you're supposed to, being seen.
A lot of
Yeah,
these are distractions. If you really look at it this way, like, does it really matter how big your house is, how nice your car is? No, none of that matters. It's not going to make you any happier.
no,
It's just a distraction from
right.
what really matters, like taking care of your health, taking care of your family, taking care of your clients, taking care of yourself,
Mhm.
you know? I mean,
Yeah,
do we really need to be millionaires? I mean, we all want to make more money, but I can assure you that being a millionaire is not going to make you any happier or healthier.
true.
I mean,
Yeah,
most
you
of the rich
got
people
bigger
are like have
problems.
problems,
Yeah,
So, um,
yeah. So, what are some tools that you use for self care?
oh yeah. One of my favorites is it's called progressive muscle relaxation. We talked about that before.
hmm
That makes me feel so good. If I have a stressful day, I have a recliner that I get in, I recline back. And you start, I mean, I'm not going to sit and describe it because it'd be take too long, but you start with your foot, you flex your foot and relax it, and then you breathe in as deep as you can and exhale slowly. And you do that all the way up your body. And it takes maybe 15 minutes. And when you are finished, you can feel that your body has went back to the rest and digest side of your nervous system.
hmm
That's what we
hmm
call it in physiology. When I was at JSU, rest and digest, you can literally feel it. I mean, you're like, wow,
Yeah,
and that's
the
scientifically proven to work.
mhm. The weight really comes off your shoulders. Yeah,
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 your cortisol even comes down.
yeah. Parasympathetic
Yes.
uh system is kicked in. Yeah, so I do something very similar. I do legs up the wall,
Oh yeah.
and I try to do it every night before dinner. And so dinner's ready, but we're not ready to eat yet. I lay on the floor, put my feet up against the wall, and I listen to something on Insight Timer. It's a free app. Usually I'll pick a 10-minute meditation to listen to, and I'll even put a hot, wet compress on my eyes because I've been
Uh-huh.
on the computer all day. And that's another topic we can talk about with dry
Yes.
eyes
Oh yeah.
and things like that. But I'll put a hot, wet compress on, my legs up the wall, turn on my meditation for 10 minutes. And I like to do the body scan too, where they just walk you through different areas of your body. And I can be all wound up and I'll do that. And in just 10 minutes, I'm like, and a lot of times I even fall asleep. Like they have like a little
That's
bell at the end of some of them and it'll like shock me awake. And I'm like, oh, I fell asleep. It's just,
that's great. That is working well,
yes,
and it feels so good. I
yes,
want everybody to know about it, because a lot of people are
right.
suffering.
Yes, yes. So then we sit down to eat dinner. My body knows, it's not only does it know it's dinner time, it knows that we're getting close to evening. It is time to just not worry about work anymore. And then, like you said, rest and digest. I'm ready to eat my food and digest and absorb all my food, eat slow,
Yeah.
chew, and all of that. So that is one of my favorite things to do for self-care. I was trying to think of some other things. I know I do some different things throughout the day as well. Um,
Well, uh, another thing that I like to do is like a Epsom salt warm bath sometimes to soak.
yes.
And you can even add some little belia to the tub and some other herbs that like valerian root. All these herbs get into your skin and it relaxes the body. That's another good
Yes.
technique.
I love that. Yes.
And it's good.
I haven't put lobelia and valerian in the tub, but that sounds fabulous.
It is.
We
You can make
do,
tea.
yes. So that did remind me. So we do bedtime tea. So at
Uh-huh.
night, after dinner, we usually dim all the lights. There's very few lights on to let us body know, it's time to go to sleep. Melatonin kick in.
Yeah.
But then we have bedtime teas. And so we'll alternate, we'll have Tulsi and lemon balm, or we'll have valerian root. Can't remember what all we combine with them, but the same thing. We just kind of alternate our teas each night, 15 minutes before bed, and have your tea. We didn't have power last night, so our tea wasn't warm, but we made our tea at like 6, and then at 10 o'clock we just strained it. So it was kind of cool, but it just helps you to relax a little further. Passion flower, that's the one that we'll include.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I
That's a good
love
one.
passion flower. Just, that one is really great for the monkey brain
Yeah.
and circling thoughts or whatever. And so I do recommend that one for some people too,
It's
because there's
great.
so many people have trouble just shutting down that the cycling thoughts.
God, I
Yeah,
know.
I love passion flower for that. So that is something else that we do. And I do a castor oil pack. As a matter of fact, I'm wearing one now. And every morning I'll put a castor oil pack on my abdomen, just to help make sure everything's keeping going. I just use it as a daily detox kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I need to get more into those. I know they're very powerful. I just never really been big into. I had a client that was having gallbladder trouble. It really helped her gallbladder. So
Hmm.
it's a great resource, a great well, I was gonna call it resource, but you know what I'm talking
Hmm.
about.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. And it's one of those things that can be used by anybody, any
Yeah.
age, any health
Oh
condition,
yes. Very
castor oil
safe.
pack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I was reading about them in a book I was reading yesterday. I was trying to remember exactly what um, the author was talking about, but yeah, arthritis,
Oh
any
yeah.
of those things. Yeah, but I use it just for everyday care, just as part of my routine. I know a lot of people wake up and have like lemon water, warm water,
Hmm.
or soul water, which has some salt in it. Dr. Christopher says we don't eat rocks, and so I'm not sure where I sit on
Yeah.
that. That fence. But those are just some other things. So I don't know if we've covered everything as far as self-care goes. We talked about negative thoughts. We talked about like stored feelings and emotions, how
Yeah.
to release those. I know a lot of times people will go out and just yell.
Yeah.
Oh, grounding. We could talk about
Yes.
Grounding. Oh, I love it. So I love when we go like to the beach. The beach is kind of my meditation place. Definitely no shoes. I love to ground and let the minerals from the sand and the ocean soak into the bottom of my feet, because the feet have large pores where you can easily absorb minerals and things. But so tell us a little bit about grounding. I love it.
Well, this is another technique we use that has science behind it, because a lot of people love science these days. There, basically you take off your shoes, you take off your socks, you walk on grass, you can walk on grass, you can walk on sand, you can walk on the bare earth. Some of the benefits is it actually lowers your blood pressure, it thins your bloodstream, it lowers your stress and cortisol levels, because we were meant to connect to the earth, and people, our ancestors knew this. A lot of these old traditions have been lost, and it's not for the betterment of society either. We need to embrace these again, because those people were much healthier than we are. We're some of the sickest people that's ever probably been on the planet, because the modern lifestyle is so stressful. But anyway, grounding, there's a story with Dr. Christopher that he had an old man that couldn't sleep. He had trouble sleeping, and Christopher goes, go out, take your shoes off, and just stand in your yard for 15 minutes. And that guy, that after he did that, he was able to sleep a full night, because well, I think you talk about static electricity also. It gets stagnant in the body, and
Hmm.
grounding helps to neutralize it.
Yeah, release. Yeah.
Yeah. It's an amazing practice,
Yes, I think Dr. Schultz even talked about in Japan, they wouldn't allow people to put rubber-soled shoes on the children,
Yeah.
um, because they know that you have to release pent-up energy and release the electricity into the ground. Yeah,
There
I
are
love it.
even grounding pads for your bed. I don't know how well they work. Have you heard of those?
I've heard of them. I don't have one. I know
Yeah.
when I get all kind of, which I do sometimes, I do remind myself, oh, you need to get out and ground. And so I will. Luckily, I have places here that I can walk around
Yeah.
barefoot outside. And so I'll go out, take my socks and shoes off. It used to be I walked or ran every day. And then when I finished, I'd actually lay in the grass
Yeah. Yeah. That works.
for about 15 minutes just to let it all out. Yes. Yeah.
And if you are somebody that doesn't want to touch the ground with your feet, I mean, you're afraid you'll get a worm or something. There are shoes now that supposedly that you can wear them, and they help you ground. I don't know if they work,
Hmm.
but maybe. But I also say don't be scared if don't be scared of the grass. You'll be okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I know we all have phobias, I think. So
True. True.
don't be afraid to ground. You'll feel a lot better.
Yes. And some other things that we can do as far as self-care goes, I think this can wrap up with it, is being in your community, finding time to play and have fun, finding things that you enjoy, quit just being in the rat race of the do, taking time out to do things that you enjoy, pick up an old hobby that you haven't touched in a long time. I know for me, I used to play the piano. If I got stressed out, I'd play the piano. I haven't played the piano in years,
Oh,
years. And I had a coach a year ago tell me, just find 15 minutes to sit down and play. And oh my gosh, I could hardly play, which was crazy. But I used to do all sorts of different things, but it's just important to make sure that you get back in touch with those things that you used to love to do that you haven't gotten to.
oh yeah, that's great advice. You should never give up the things you love to do. It's not worth it.
Right, right.
Be
Yeah.
playful, be playful. Even in your mundane daily tasks, try to add some playfulness to it. Laugh, make a joke. We're all
Yes.
way too serious. I used to make a lot more jokes. And we should get back to that, like
Yes.
why are we so serious?
Right. Right. Yes. Well, do you have anything else to add for self-care? I'm sure there are other things that will pop up.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a broad topic, but I think that was a good we covered some good things to start with. So
Yeah. Well, I think that's great. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. And next week, we are going to be talking about soy. There's so much controversy around soy. You know, should you have soy? Should you not have soy? Are there different types of soy? Anyway, come back next week to hear more.
See